What up? What it do? It's your boy JDQ with Vision iView TV, and we're live tonight. I don't know if the rest of my team members will be here. I will be sending them the link if they can and want to show up and be on the chill stream with your boy here. But either way, whether they show up or not, I want to give you guys a huge round of applause for taking out of your busy schedule to be here with me or the team or just myself. Doesn't matter. Either way, thank you so much. I appreciated the team. On behalf of my team, we all appreciate the love and support you guys show us day in, day out when we do these live streams. I highly appreciate it alone, so you can imagine how they feel. But anyways, I won't take up too much of your time with the intro. I'll get right into it. But before I do, quick shout out to everyone in the live chat as of right now. For those of you watching afterwards, thank you so much for checking it out afterwards. It really does mean a lot to us. But real quick, William Finlay, 502 Underground, Wild Plum, and I can't see the other two, but if you're here, just, I don't know, type something in the live chat just so I know that you're here. But for those of you who are here right now with us or with myself, thank you so much. All right, so apparently, y'all know how I am with my apparentlys. Apparently, we have a rapper from Atlanta giving away millions of dollars. That's right. You heard it here first, probably. Let's see. Away $1 million. My bad. I said millions right now. Let me correct that before it turns into actual clickbait. The Atlanta rapper giving away $1 million seems to be ludicrous. But before we get right into the actual article here, let me just minimize this real quick. Before I get into the article, please, 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 if you're in the live chat right now, give this stream a like up and share it with a family member, a friend, coworker, neighbor, whoever you think might find it amusing or interesting, however you want to call it. And yeah. William says, blessings, JDQ. Good to see you live stream back. You know what's crazy is I do get, DMs and private messages on different platforms asking me how come we're not going on live as much. Well, to answer that question briefly, is because if you guys have noticed within the last few weeks, I have been pumping out shorts left and right to add on to the community that we have on here already. So what that's going to allow me to do in the long run, hopefully, is those new people that are adding on to the community on this channel are able to watch the rest of the content, the more important content within the channel itself when we talk about interesting topics, new world order type of stuff, conspiracy theories or conspiracy realities, right? And it allows the person or the viewer or new subscriber to get to know myself and the team a little better. So the shorts are just like a little hook to kind of bring them in and kind of welcome them into the channel, and then hopefully they check out the rest of the more important topics that we talk about. So I've been doing that as much as I can because we are still not monetized on this channel, and that is the goal. I'm trying to get this channel monetized as soon as possible. We're still missing about 2,000 public watch hours to kind of fit that last requirement. Everything else is fine. The subscriber count, that's already up there where it needs to be. We don't have any strikes and nothing like that against the channel. All we have left to the requirement that we need to check off the list is it's like 4,000 hours of public watch time. And I think we have I don't know, I forget how much right now, but we're still missing more than half of that total. So yeah, if you can help me out with that, I'll highly appreciate it. But yeah. So William says, what's everyone's thoughts on sports players dropping dead? Even worse for public, as many people dropping. Yeah, man. I mean, we all know what that's about. That's not a secret. We all know that a certain, as someone else that we all know would say, magic potion that has been taken by the masses is a huge factor in that. So William says here in the UK alone, just under 2,000 more deaths each week, dropping dead than we had in full lockdowns, and this happening worldwide doesn't add up. Yeah, that is true. But again, we all know of a certain magic potion that was dispersed throughout the nation or the nations. So that's a huge factor. But diving into this article real quick. So it says here, I have kicked off 2023 with a series of positive, uplifting stories about people who are giving back to their local communities. Readers love to read good news articles that highlight the good being done by people. So today, I want to look at an Atlanta rapper who fits that profile. Chris Bridges, known as Ludacris, better known as Ludacris, has been an active participant in the Atlanta community, donating and raising millions of dollars for various organizations. Let's take a quick look at his story. The Atlanta rapper Chris Ludacris Bridges was born in Illinois 1977 and moved to Atlanta when he was 9. Even though he was just 9, he had already begun writing his own songs and rapping, influenced by Southern music scene. Ludacris attended Banneker High School in Atlanta, graduated in 95 before studying music management at Georgia State University. Ludacris worked first as a DJ at Atlanta's Hot 97.5, where he met music producer Timbaland. He had a track featured on Timbaland's 1998 album, Tim's Bio, Live from the Basement, which launched his music career. He has had a successful career featuring a string of hit records, winning 3 Grammy Awards, launching his own record label, Disturbing the Peace, and even acting in the Fast and the Furious film franchise. Despite his colossal success, he has not forgotten the community that has helped him along the way. Very important to watch out for that. Philanthropy. In 2001, Ludacris founded the Ludacris Foundation, which operates throughout Atlanta to serve youth and families in our communities. Since its establishment, the foundation has provided more than 30 grassroots nonprofit organizations with grants, impacting the lives of thousands of people. In addition, the foundation was recognized by Georgia Governor Nathan Deal for its efforts to change lives in schools and communities. Of course, many people in Atlanta will be familiar with Luda Day, which has run since 2005 over the Labor Day weekend, recognized as an official citywide event by Mayor Casson Reed in 2011. The weekend brings together the Atlanta community and raises funds for the Ludacris Foundation. In early 2020, Ludacris and Beyond Meat donated and distributed over 1 million plant-based burgers to support Atlanta community during the coronavirus pandemic. He also donated masks to Atlanta's transportation workers. Ludacris also helps individuals in need. For example, in December 2021, Ludacris posted a video on Instagram with the caption, "My pops used to always say, if you give a homeless person money, they're just going to buy booze with it." That's very true. I always wanted to disagree with him because as a kid in my heart, I always felt that that couldn't be 100% true. So I've been masked up, disguised, experimenting in these streets and giving the homeless food gift cards instead so that they have more of an incentive to buy food. That's a smart strategy to go about it. A few weeks ago, Ludacris gave away 1,200 brand new Adidas and Nike sneakers to the children at Lenore P. Miles Intermediate Elementary School and Michael R. Hollis Innovation Academy in Atlanta. When kids get new shoes and clothes, it's shown they do better in school and feel better about themselves. That's very true. Hopefully there's a butterfly effect that what we do today will inspire someone to do something great that otherwise wouldn't have happened, he said. Boosting their morale and spirits is a gift in and of itself, said Ludacris. Now, let me just say this, and I hope I'm not disrespecting him or his family or his fans or the people that support him, because this was one of my favorite rappers from back in the day. When I used to listen to secular and mainstream rap music, he was like top 5, top 3 favorite rappers of all time. So I'll just start off with that. I will say this, man, it's great to see people with his level of influence and power and authority, right? to look for different ways of actually giving back to his community, giving back to the people that help him get to where he's at. Right. That's always good to see. That's always great to see. However, however, let it be known, okay, that just because you do these great deeds does not mean that you have won over heaven. And the reason I'm saying this is because I know that if my co-host Kiko were here, that's the first thing. That's the first thing that he would bring up is, a lot of these artists, a lot of these celebrities, singers, rappers, musicians, people that are public figures, right? They like to come off as philanthropists and, all these great titles that people give them. But they do it more so, and I hate to say this because it's hard to kind of like verbalize because I don't want it to come off as it being an attack on anyone, even though it's gonna sound that way regardless. But it's to have people in their pockets. You know what I'm saying? Like they want to give people a reason to be like, oh well, he does no wrong. Like he gives out money, he gives out food gift cards, he gives out shoes to kids, he gives out toys for kids. He does this and that. People in that line of work, they have to continuously, well, they don't have to, but they do it because they know it serves a purpose in the bigger picture, in the bigger scheme of things. They do it to have people and keep people in their pockets, and they do it for tax purposes. Let me change the title of this because hold on. But they do it for tax purposes. Let's not forget. Um, I know it sounds messed up, man, but it's the truth. $3 million. I know it sounds terrible, man, but you gotta tell it how it is. We got BB in the house. We got Backburner in the house. What's going on, sister? God bless you. Thanks for being here. I appreciate the love and support. Great profile picture, by the way. It's amazing. It's glorious. It's beautiful. It looks like a giant cuddly teddy bear with a oversized grown beard. I love it. But yeah, so I sound like I'm hearing myself say it, the whole like tax purposes. And all I can think of is, I don't know if y'all seen like Aziz Ansari's like stand-up specials, but he has one and he's talking about marriage and he's talking about how scary the whole moment is. And wait, you said what? A tutorial on how I keep my face so nice? You'd be surprised. I actually had a damaged forehead a few days ago from like using what do you call it? It's like oatmeal type like bar of soap. It's like a natural oatmeal and bar of soap. But out to its defense, I was using it with like those gloves that are like a exfoliating gloves or whatever. And I was being like mad, like rough and what I'm saying, try to like deep clean my forehead or whatever. So it kind of messed up my forehead for a few days. So you'd be surprised. But I do appreciate the what do you call it? The compliment? Yeah. Thanks for the compliment. I appreciate it. But it's no secret, you know what I'm saying? Just take a shower once a day. That should do it. But yeah, so I to a certain extent I admire, what he's doing or whatever. Giving shoes to kids and all that. But at the end of the day, like when you're aware of like why they do it, like what's the real intent behind why they do it, it's not always just to give back to the people and communities. It goes beyond that. You know what I'm saying? They need to keep the people in their pockets. They need to keep people in the pockets and believing in them and trusting them, right? And have those same communities that brought him to where he's at continue to trust him. So, what better way to have people trust you than to every now and then like hit him with like a gift or hit him with like a some type of like financial aid or some type of like financial support. You know what I mean? So yeah, and it goes even deeper beyond that. But that's that would have to wait for the team to be here. Which, by the way, I'm actually going to send them the link as of right now because I forgot to earlier. But moving on to the next order of business, because I know you guys are just like, foaming at the mouth to see what else I'm having to talk about today. I mean, tonight. We're going to talk about this as well. And I mean, let me just, there we go. Okay, it's good. Glorilla arrested. Rapper shares hilarious reason why she spent 3 years in jail. We'll talk about it in a second. And we're going to do, I guess you could call it like a, I don't want to say interlude. It's like a little bridge between these two topics that are coming up now, between this one and the next one. And also what could be the real reason behind some of these stories. But before I do that, if you haven't hit the like button already, and if you have not shared this stream with somebody else, please do so ASAP. That way, hopefully, before this month ends, I'm hoping way before it ends, we can finally get this channel popping with the monetized active. We still got like more than 2,000 hours of public watch hours to go. So depending on how the traffic tonight goes, meaning like how many people are watching actively the stream, we might turn it into like a small marathon, or, you know what I'm saying, do something like a little bit more interesting out of the norm. But if not, if it's like weak and not that many people in here, not so interactive, then, I'll kind of like think about it and probably call it a night. So it all depends on that. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 topics to talk about. So let me just do this real quick before I forget. Boom. This won't take too long. I really hate when with the iPhone, like the amount of auto correction that happens while you're typing something is ridiculous. Like, and I know technically like it's within like the settings that you have to like change it, so it won't be doing that. But it's like, come on, yo, like intuitively, like, come on, no, it's too much. Okay, this should be good. All right, so the link has been sent, and let me just give them a heads up in the group chat real quick, just in case. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. I apologize. William with the comment here. It's like Andrew Tate, only person in the world that's arrested, put in jail, then they take his cars, house, everything, so much for not guilty until proven guilty. Yeah, man. Listen. I have a theory. Who wants to hear my theory on the whole Andrew Tate situation? Let me know in the live chat if you want me to express my theory on the whole Andrew Tate situation, because I have no problem with fessing up my opinion, and it's a real simple one too. It's not even that like crazy. It's not even that like deep or nothing like that. It's just like, yeah. William says, "Tell us, please." All right, so before I move on to the other topics that I have going on tonight, to answer your question, Rod says, please tell. Do tell. Please do tell, JDQ. Okay, so before I say it, you need to know that, like my opinion, it comes from a place of me being an extremely skeptical person in general. Okay, like if someone is in the spotlight in any way, shape, or form at that level, it is really difficult for me to not think that he, in some way, shape, or form, is connected to the rest of the people who are in the spotlight, if you know what I'm saying. So, my theory is, okay, and I know some of you, once I say it, you're gonna be like, "Oh, I knew he was gonna say that. I knew it. I saw it coming." Well, I mean, if that's the case, then that's good on you because you've been listening carefully to how I've been talking these past few years, and you've been looking very closely at my opinions every so often. So I appreciate you taking the time to get to know me. So my theory is, I think he is controlled opposition, y'all. I really do think he's controlled opposition. And I know some of you like already like, oh, come on, JDQ, come on. There's no way. There's no way. He's too hardcore against the system. He's too hardcore against the oppressors. He's too hardcore against like the mainstream and say, and I agree with you. I agree with you. And I know. And I listen, if there's one person who has seen tons of Andrew Tate content, it's been this guy. Okay, I have been looking at his stuff. I want to say for at least a year now, maybe a little less than a year, but I've been having my eye on him. I've been looking at the way he's been expressing himself. I've been looking at his opinions or his publicly displayed opinions. But again, that's exactly what controlled opposition does. Now, I know that in order for you to be controlled opposition, there has to be a bridge connecting what you're saying and expressing and opinionating on to kind of like lead you astray into the system, because that's the whole point of controlled opposition, is to have, a lot of truth with just a little bit of uncertainty, right? Mixed in together, and kind of like not confuse you per se, but kind of like um desensitize you to further truths, if that makes any sense. So what happened in the Garden of Eden, right, with the serpent? When the serpent said, "Oh, you've been like lied to, basically, like just because you eat the fruit doesn't really mean that you'll like truly die," right? And he was right. Technically, he was right because the truth of them not physically dying was true. However, the more important truth was hidden, right? The actual truth of them dying spiritually and having the worst death anyone could have, which is like a separation from within them and God, that was like hidden from them. The simple truth of them not dying physically, he gave it to them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, you're not really gonna physically die if you eat the fruit. You know what I'm saying? That's his exaggeration. He wasn't lying when he said that, but he did not give the full truth. So it was like a half truth. It was like a half-ass truth. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. I those are like my thoughts on the whole Andrew Tate situation. I think it's more likely that he's controlled opposition than him really being truly, genuinely, wholeheartedly against the machine, against the, you know what I'm saying, against the actual oppressors. Uh, William says they both in hospital now. Seen it on news. Not sure if it's from fights or what, but seen yesterday they transferred to hospital. And if they're really truly injured, hey, I hope they get well soon. I hope they recover really fast. But yeah, I don't know. Those are just my thoughts. You don't have to take my word for it. You don't have to be like, all right, that's what JDQ thinks. Let me side with him. No, no, no. everyone has to draw their own conclusion. Everybody has to get to their own educated opinions based on what they see and hear, and based on what they see reflected within the person and where that person is ultimately leading them to, right? But yeah, that's my rant on that, I guess. All right, so let's get on to this news real quick. All right, so it says Glorilla arrested. Rapper shares hilarious reason why she spent 3 years in jail. Glorilla might be one of the biggest female rappers in the industry today, but it wasn't as an easy journey for her as she worked hard to achieve her dreams. Recently, an old interview of the rapper resurfaced in which it was revealed that she spent time behind bars due to a bizarre reason. According to Uproxx, an old clip, and by the way, this is from musictimes.com, in case you're interested in like reading the whole thing. May 2022 made rounds online. In this video, the rapper, whose real name is Gloria Woods, spoke to Funny Marco on his YouTube series. We're not going to hit play on this, but the Memphis-based musician shared how she amassed massive success through the years. She called an incident that happened years ago where she was sent to jail. Confirmed she indeed spent nearly 3 years in jail, and it was because of stealing cereal at Kmart. So apparently, Glorilla spent 3 years in jail for stealing cereal at Kmart. 3 years you can't make this up. You really cannot make this up. Holy crap. I was unaware, and I'm not saying this is like, you know what I'm saying, fantastic news. This is not like groundbreaking news. Like, oh my goodness, how? But it's interesting nonetheless. Like 3 years for stealing like cereal at a Kmart, really? And who knew that Kmart's were still operating? I thought they were all shut down already. So, that's crazy. We're in the club group and talk too much either way. I'm not saying I'm right, but I appreciate the, you know what I'm saying, the sentiment. Yeah. Club group and talk too much. Yeah, and it's true. And again, they do bring a lot of truth to the table. Like, I'm not saying that what they're saying is lies. Like, they bring up a lot of good topics, and they bring up a lot of good, you know what I'm saying, like useful information. They really do. They really do. And I'm not going to take that away from him or both of them. But you know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's hard, bro. It's like really difficult to like trust when someone is up there with like millions of followers, like the following is that strong. It's just difficult. It's difficult to be like unless they're like wholeheartedly pointing you towards Christ or towards like the Bible or towards like faith or towards like the truth. If they're not doing any of that, it's difficult for me to like be like, yeah, they're like legit. They're like legit. No, it's hard. It's really hard. Because it's like nothing else more important than like the actual truth of the gospel, truth of, you know what I'm saying, just that whole side of things. But that's enough of Glorilla. Let's go on to something that I think we're kind of all wondering about without really, having to like mention it right away. But apparently, again, through the musictimes.com, Kanye West goes out in public again after missing for weeks. Rapper spotted with new woman. What? Get the flip out of here. Now, the reason I'm bringing this specific topic up, and let me just change the title right quick, is because, listen. It appears. Let's do it like that, I guess. Okay. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because I don't know and this is the true essence, purpose of this channel. Like what I'm about to express right now and what I'm about to talk about right now, and like, you know what I'm saying, walk you guys through, is the true nature of this channel. I said earlier, conspiracy theories, really conspiracy realities, and all these things that happen within the music industry, especially the rap industry. When artists go missing for days and weeks and months on end, and just pop up and resurface again, either mentally ill, physically different, with a new whatever, new partner, new like girlfriend or whatever it is, or acting funny, acting different, acting like nothing happened, right? All these things point towards, in my opinion, I'm not saying this is fact, I'm not saying this is true, I'm just saying it's my opinion because we've seen a lot of this stuff happen in the past, right? And for the most part, I want to say more than half the time something like this happens and they resurface and they kind of just like, pop up back out of nowhere like nothing happened, right? They either have gone through some type of MK Ultra um, experience, some type of MK tune up, some type of psychological reprogramming of some sorts. We're going to read the article in a second, but I'm glad that I found this because it's like a lot of people had forgotten about this. And mind you, I'm aware there's a lot of news that happens, you know what I'm saying, around the same time that he disappeared. People were dying left and right, artists were dying left and right. What's her face? Gangsta Boo died, you know what I'm saying? Drake, you know what I'm saying, is a possible suspect now for XXX Tentacion's death, along with like other rappers. And the list goes on. The Bad Bunny phone incident. The list goes on and on of stuff that has happened around the same time that Kanye disappeared and afterwards. So I know that it's really easy to forget his disappearance. But this brother just came up out of nowhere again. He just reappeared out of nowhere. And I do have Jay, the producer, in the VIP room, in the backstage. He's booting up. He's getting ready. He's going to share his opinions. He's going to share his input in a few seconds. But I want y'all to please, 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 in the live chat, give me your thoughts, your opinions on what do you think happened during the time of Kanye's disappearance up until now of his reappearance. What do you think went on? Because it wasn't just him, it was him and his fellow like producer friend. And I really want to hear y'all's thoughts because I don't want to put any ideas in anyone's head. Again, I'm just going to be speaking on my opinion and you know what I'm saying, depending on what the article says and depending on what the main narrative is, I'll kind of like make some assumptions here and there, educated assumptions, mind you, but still assumptions nonetheless. Just let me know in the live chat what y'all think happened. Okay, cool. I want y'all thank you so much. We got a long time supporter, YouTube family member in the house, Jen. The lovable Jen, just, you know what I'm saying, back at it again with the great support, just left and right sharing. She shared the streams and videos and shorts from these last few weeks. She told me, she said, JD, I shared the shorts with my grandmama. I shared the shorts with my cousin. I shared the shorts with my puppy, my pet horse, my pet porcupine. I shared your content with everyone. Like, there's no one left for me to share y'all's content with. Like, my thumb got tired of how many times I shared your videos and your live stream with my peoples. Like, she was like, let me tell you like this. I shared you guys' content so much that it started looking like spam. People were telling me like, Is this really you sending us videos of this brown man talking about the daily music news? Is this really you, like, sending all this stuff our way? Let us know if you've been kidnapped, Jen. That's what she told me. She was like, yo, they thought I was kidnapped. They thought I was kidnapped, son, because of how much I was sharing y'all's content. And I was like, I told Jen, I was like, Jen, you really, really didn't have to stop doing it. Keep doing it, girl. Keep doing it. Keep sharing those videos. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about, Jen? Keep sharing that video. Y'all thought I was gonna say, God, you didn't have to, but I was like, nah, Jen, you didn't have to stop. You heard? You didn't have to stop sharing. That's what I was gonna say. You know what I'm talking about? But oh man, yo, much love to you too. I don't even know if I can just call you like little sis, because sometimes I be forgetting like our age difference. I don't. Sometimes it feels like you're the older one, but I'm just gonna say I'm the older one. But okay, I'll take that. Big love to you too. Big bear hug to you and the kids and the family and all that good stuff. Oh, I know. I'm aware. Ooh. So I see there is some technical difficulties with producer Jay. But we'll wait it out. Man, get that mess out of here. I ain't no old. You know what I'm saying? You're not considered old until you're like 60 years old. And I'm not even, well, I'm halfway there. But, so I'm half old, I guess. But yeah, we're going to wait on Jay the producer's technical difficulties to clear up. But he is in the backstage. Hopefully, Geeko is in the backstage at some point as well. But yeah, bear hugs to you and the kids as well. All right, so again, let me know in the live chat before I continue with the topics. Okay, good. All right, so let me know your opinions in the live chat. That's funny. I'm about to bring Jay the producer on the scene to get, first of all, you know what I'm saying, how his day went, and then his personal opinion on the matter of Kanye West. Let me just fix this real quick. All right, sir. All right, what's up? What's going on, brother man?
What's going on? Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here. Even though I'm not gonna lie, it was on short notice, so the fact that you're here is a huge blessing.
Yeah, it was just kind of like, you know what? I saw the message go out, and I was like, you know what? I can load up for a bit.
Cool. So before we talk about the topics here, how was your day? How's everything with you in the new position, work?
Work, man. It's stressful. There's a lot to do. There's a lot going on. Just taking it one day at a time.
Okay, fair enough. I want to assume that any controversy that happened a while back ago is already completely cleared up, and I'm assuming there's like a new slate with certain positions and all that.
Yeah, so far so good. This is the one thing that that I think I've told you in the past, and I'll say it again. Although I am a manager, I don't really feel any different from when I was an employee. Um, because come to find out, I've got a boss, and my boss has a boss, and that boss has a boss as well. So we're all working for somebody.
That is very true. And I hope that the fact that you haven't changed actually helps you connect with the workers, because that's usually the case when people don't change because of their position. They're able to connect with like the employees and the workers and create like a very nice bond.
I don't think that it's change that occurs. I think it's just different responsibilities, and when you have a new responsibility, like for instance, in my case, like I don't want to fail at my job, you know. So I know that there are going to be certain things that I'm going to have to do in order to succeed. And some of those things are not going to line up with what, say, the employee is going to want. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. True.
Um, so I don't want to say that, when people get promoted, they change. They definitely don't change. It's just, different responsibilities, you know.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That makes complete sense. I get it. Because you do want to do your job correctly. You don't
Right.
want to, just because of relations with the actual employees and coworkers, you don't want to, what's the word? You don't want it to be not blackmailing, but there's a phrase for that. I forget.
Oh,
Conflict of interest. There we
well,
go.
there's definite hurdles. Um, when you get promoted, when you go from from, say, being an employee to being, um, say, a manager or a boss or some sort of supervisor,
Right.
there's always going to be difficulty transitioning, because now you're working with people who, a, you've probably already worked with for years,
Right.
so you guys know each other fairly well, um, and it's kind of hard for them to move past, um, having to think of you as a boss, So it's definitely is a struggle to overcome those odds. So
Well, you're smart enough and wise enough to handle all that, so I'm gonna trust you're gonna do a great job regardless. But we have someone new that I have not seen in the live chat ever, or maybe I have and I just don't remember. Serbian Capybara 2.0 saying greetings from Germany. We've got people from Germany in the
the heist,
house. Huh?
the heist.
The heist? Oh,
I
are
don't
you
know.
talking to him?
Yeah, I know that's a German word. I just don't know which one it is.
All right, hope it's a good one. Oh, hold up. Before we continue, can we please give a warm welcome and round of applause for the most beautiful female supporter in the live chat as of right now, the lovely Emily Rose. That's right. Round of applause. I feel terrible because, okay, so I got Serbian saying, yo, JDQ, I've been in all the your boy JDQ chat a bunch. All right, so this is what happened, Serbian. I have not been that active on your boy JDQ main channel like in a while. I dabble here and there every now and then just to kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Like still say like, hey, I'm still part of the channel. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of like stay somewhat active on there, but not as active as I used to be. So therefore, the people that I know like from this channel and the community of this channel is more like clear in my mind than supporters from the other channel, if that makes sense. But hey, I appreciate it. I really do. You know what I'm saying? If you been on the main channel and cross over to this one, it means a lot to me. It really does. So yeah, you're always welcome here, and thank you so much for continuing to support myself and the team on this channel. All right, so Jay, before we hit this topic right here, because I want your opinion on this. Dead Twist is laughing. Don't laugh at me, Dead Twist. Well, by the way, Dead Twist is a huge supporter of this channel as well, and I'm extremely grateful for him and every one of you guys. But Dead Twist, he knows why I'm saying it. But yeah, so before I got to this article, Jay, I was talking about Ludacris apparently giving out not necessarily $1 million cash, but he was giving out $1 million and different things like shoes for children and food gift cards for like the homeless. And what I was saying was that it's nice to see that from artists and all that, celebrities, singers, musicians, whatever, they make millions. So it would make sense for them to give back, necessarily not everything that they make, but show some type of like support back to the communities and people who help get them to where they're at, right?
Right.
But I was saying that sadly, because of how the world is, What I was saying was, I'm not taking away that he could very well be heart, and because he wants to, like, you know what I'm saying, like support his community and all that. But I think also at the same time, he does it this for the same reason that a lot of these artists and celebrities do it, is to keep people in their pockets and keep people trusting them to continue to feed them. You know what I'm saying? Um, what they want to feed them. Like, because it's easier for them to be like, hey, make sure you check out my content, make sure you check out my music, my this and that, when you have them in your pocket, because you have gifted them and made them feel important and made them feel unforgotten, like not forgotten. Um, but I don't know, what are your thoughts on that? I don't know if you
I,
want.
I hate to play devil's advocate. I mean, the world is hard enough. I don't want to walk around, thinking the glass is half empty. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, there's plenty of reasons to give back. For me, the first thing that would come to my head would be tax implications. You know,
I
um,
brought that up too early. Go ahead.
that would be the main reason one of these artists would do that. The other, I would hope, would be to give back to the community that got them to where they are.
Right.
So it's hard to say what's in one's heart.
And it's sad, right? It's sad that we even have to bring those possibilities up. There's like, oh, tax purposes. You ever seen that Aziz Ansari stand-up special where he's talking about marriage?
Yeah.
And he's like, why are we doing all this? And he's like, tax purposes. That's like, when I saw the article, that's the scene that came to my mind. This was when Aziz was talking about that. And it sucks to have to even bring that up as a possibility. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, you want to believe the best in people. You want to see the best in people. But it's like I was saying earlier too, like when you're at that level of fame and power and influence and authority, it's hard, bro. It's really difficult to like not think that there's other reasons that are not necessarily positive, strung into the other purposes, right, of why they do these things.
I mean, they say the same thing about former President Trump, that a lot of his charities were all mostly due to tax reliefs and tax benefits. So,
well, there you go. I mean, we're not saying to take our words for it. Do your own research as always. Make educated decisions and opinions, right? But I mean, it I don't know. It mostly points towards all that. It's a possibility. But anyways. So what we were talking about before you stepped in was Kanye West has apparently resurfaced. I haven't began to read the article because I was answering another question, which I guess I'll ask you too. Because this is the reason why I have Jay and Kiko on here with me, is because it's different points of view, different opinions. We don't necessarily always agree 100% on the same topics. And it's refreshing to see, you know what I'm saying, two people that we are mostly alike still having two different opinions, right?
word.
So apparently, the whole Andrew Tate and his brother situation. What do you think about that? What do you think he's legit for the people, or do you think he's a controlled opposition? Maybe. Do you think he's?
This is what I'm going to say.
Go ahead.
All right. We are well aware that there are forces in this world that you do not mess with. Andrew Tate could have very well been one of those people just poking at the wrong beehive, and the reason I say that is because, well, for instance, where's my phone at? I sent you that long documentary today about cancer.
Right.
Did you get a chance to watch it?
Not yet. No, I can't lie and say I have. I haven't yet.
Well, there is a pharmaceutical drug known as anti-neoplaston
Mhm.
that apparently has been curing cancer since as far back as the 1970s. And I bet you nobody in here knows that.
This is an exclusive, y'all. And by the way, this is Jay, the producer, who found this. Tonight, I'm considering and unofficially giving the title of the Oracle because he sent this to the group chat, and I was kind of like saving it to like watch it at some point tonight, like in peace. But the fact that he brought it up is another reason why you got to make sure you subscribe to this channel, baby. You got to make sure you're sharing this with your peeps because this is groundbreaking, exclusive information that Jay, the producer, is about to break down for y'all. Go ahead, do your thing.
And so the reason I bring that up with the whole Andrew Tate situation is because this doctor in Texas for years has been trying to get this cure out to the masses, but the pharmaceuticals have been using the FDA to suppress him. They've taken this man to court like 6 or 7 times already. He's won every single case, but the government has spent over $60 million to ensure that this man's drug doesn't get out to the masses. You know, so when we talk about Andrew Tate, I find it very plausible that the powers that be can do what they're doing to him. You know, it's not out of the realm of possibilities.
Okay, and that's what I was saying earlier too. I was like, I'm not taking away that he's someone who has absolutely brought a lot of truth to the table and a lot of useful information to the masses. That's not to be taken away from him at all. So it's a very delicate matter. Like I want to believe that he is legit for the people, but there's always that like 1% doubt. You know what I'm saying? Of incredulity and I forget the word right now, but like just pretty much like not trusting 1,000% on the person because of the following that he has. But you know, I mean, I hope so. I hope he is for the people because he's given a lot of useful information to every single one of us.
Andrew Tate is not for the people. He is 110% for himself.
Right.
Though a lot of the information he gave out was truthful information, he used that information to better enrich himself. You know, he even hid a lot of key information behind paywalls. You know, so he's no saint. You know,
exactly.
He's not out there for the people. It's, you know, now he's caught up into a bind because he didn't watch his mouth. Said too many things. So
now let me ask you this though. You know what the charges that he's currently fighting right now. Do you think that's legit, or you think they set him up?
Listen, man. Listen, when you got that kind of money, and I hate to say it, women throw themselves at guys like that. You know what I mean? Like people were shocked when they heard the locker room talk about, you know, grab the woman by the hoo-ha, right? But we all know that if a celebrity is walking around and a female sees them, you know, and they think that there's a slight chance that celebrity can help them get out of poverty, they're going to take that opportunity.
That is very true. And that's kind of like what I was telling Kiko earlier today. I was like, because he was asking me, you know, why do women allow themselves to be, you know, like flipped and used like this? And I was like,
life is hard. Life is difficult for everybody.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, you can't fault people for wanting to take the easy way out.
We're not justifying what they allow themselves to, you know, how they get taken advantage of. We're not justifying that in any means.
It takes a person with strong moral characters to not sell out, you know.
And it just so happens. It just so happens that, hey, you know, like if that person is going to, you know, to pay for this and that, for just you doing this and that, then for someone, first of all, let me just explain this. for someone who doesn't have God or Christ in their life, it's still difficult for them to bring themselves to that level,
Yeah.
but it's easier for it to happen.
But it,
Yeah, go ahead.
but like that, it's easier for them to fall into the temptation,
Yep.
you know, and it's very easy for someone who follows Christ.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's very easy for someone to fall.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's unfortunate, but money, um, they say it's the root of all evil, but it's definitely the reason for why so many people fall
Yeah, because
or fail.
sadly, this world that we live in and wake up to, this matrix that we wake up to, is ran by and controlled by money.
Yeah,
So obviously, people are going to gravitate towards, well, how do I get my hands on more and faster? You know what I mean? And easier. So it just happens. But I digress on that topic, and we'll keep covering that some other time, I guess. But okay, so apparently, this is from today, I guess. Yeah. Kanye West got out in public again after missing, supposedly, which he did, but they're putting air quotes. So, reports about him. West was spotted in public again with a new mystery woman Sunday afternoon as he drove around Beverly Hills with his Maybach.
Sunday
Mm.
afternoon. Mark it down.
Sunday afternoon. Everybody put them live chat.
Mark it down. Sunday afternoon. We'll see how different. Let's see how different this Kanye West is compared
Thank
to,
you.
compared to the Kanye of old.
Thank you. And we're going to get into that in a second. I'm going to finish reading the article. But once I do, I want people to, not now, I mean, after the show is done, but rewind. And that's exactly what I was getting at. Depending on what we see from this point forward, we can make educated assumptions on the reason of why his disappearance. But let's finish the article and then we'll get to that. A news outlet released exclusive photos of the rapper and the woman before they walked into Waldorf Astoria Hotel. The identity of the woman remains unknown, but it marked the first time the Jesus is King rapper was seen again following multiple reports about him missing. The buzz started when hip-hop news outlet Daily Loud revealed on its Twitter account that West's ex-business manager Thomas St. John declared him missing. He said he could not find the hip-hop artist anywhere to serve him with legal documents. The post reached millions of views on the platform. St. John had been searching for him to serve him the lawsuit he filed for breaching of contract. He accused the rapper of stopping to pay him a monthly retainer after the aggressive meeting before he went missing. All right, so that's the narrative that they're giving, that he disappeared because he owed money or whatever. I don't know how much I believe that because but we'll just.
I mean,
we'll just
listen, it's hard to believe what you read, man.
Mm-hmm.
You don't. It's hard to believe, man. After watching this documentary about this doctor and how they try to slander this guy as him being a criminal, he's got hundreds of patients that he's cured from cancer. And the government made him out to be a criminal. I mean, it's hard to believe what you read nowadays.
And because of that, I'll just say this. The first thing to take into consideration when these things happen is to look closely at the narrative that they continue to push. If they keep pushing, the whole he disappeared when all of a sudden he was served with a legal battle, this and that he owed this much, and they keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it as the main reason, then you can kind of assume that it's that might not be the real reason, because it's almost always the case that whatever they push so far down your throat to kind of put it in your head that, oh, that's why, it's 9 times out of 10 it's because of some other reason. That's the way propaganda works, is they feed you what they want you to believe. So, but going back to what you said earlier, and I want you to expand on it as best as you can. What did you mean by we'll see what type of Kanye this is that resurfaced? Go ahead.
Well, for instance, um, the kind of Kanye that the Kanye that we were getting was the Kanye was unapologetic, not afraid to speak his mind, and from what I could see, put Jesus in front of everything. You know, um, he my main concern is the leaked text messages from that one sports or fitness guy who was part of the CIA who threatened him about bringing him back and putting him on so many pills that playtime with the kids would never be the same. Um, that's what I mean. A more docile, a more controlled Kanye, a person who's going to be more reserved. Um, so that's what I mean.
So we're gonna be extremely, we're gonna. Well, I don't want to say investigate, but we're gonna be extremely observant of what's the first thing, because I'm not aware if he's already like tweeted something or expressed himself in social media yet, but we're gonna be paying attention to what his first public words from being back are, and then we'll start building up from there. Like, okay, well, does he sound rational? Does he sound sane? Does he sound clear-headed? Does he sound controlled? Does he sound puppeted? Does he sound, you know what I'm saying? Like he's like watching what he says too much, like self-censoring himself. These are all things to like look out for as like red flags, as to see and tell whether it's the same Kanye that we had, you know what I'm saying, days before the disappearance, or has he been reprogrammed? Because listen, it's always a possibility, and I've said it earlier. I want to say most of the time when an artist, musician, or celebrity or public figure disappears and comes back, you can tell the difference. You can tell that either some physical features have changed, some expressive details have changed, some, the way they just overall express themselves is different. Heck, like the biggest example that I can think of for me is Miley Cyrus. Like, before the breakup with, I forget his face, she was normal. You know what I'm saying? Just a regular chick, just, like pumping out hits or whatever. She has some good stuff going out. And then the breakup happens. She kind of like disappears for a bit. And then she comes back and, wrecking ball, and just kind of like obnoxious, weird, just disgusting type of like attitude and just expressive. I don't know, man.
The music industry, like, I'm gonna go on a limb and say 99.9% of the artists out there have no creative control of how they look nor how they sound. So I wouldn't put that much stock in Miley Cyrus. Plus she was the child star. She was in the public eye for many years. I'm not the same person I was when I was 18. So people change.
That is very true. And I would never argue that fact, because we do all grow up and mature in different ways, and we do, I guess, adapt to our personal situations and crisis, or however you want to call it, right? But it was just so extreme, though. Like, at least for me, in my opinion, it was extreme.
I'm going to bed. Good night. You're gonna have to shut it down downstairs. I'm not going downstairs. And I'm out inside.
Okay, thank you, baby.
And you smell really bad.
You gotta love them, right? You just gotta love them and choke them to death.
that made my night, yo. I don't know how I forgot to do. I wasn't expecting that, so I didn't mute it.
I forgot there's a mute button in here.
I forgot too. It was like because again, I didn't see that coming.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I still hear you.
Okay, so my mute button on my mic don't work.
Ooh, well, that's not good. Okay, well, that happened. That's more reasons to make sure you subscribe to the channel, folks. All right, so keep that in mind. Next time you think, well, what am I really missing from these streams? That's what you're missing. All right. So real quick, changing topics. I know you probably have to go soon. I do have this thing that I do want to bring up really fast. Oh, actually, I have two things I want to bring up really fast. It'll only take maybe 5 minutes each, hopefully. Okay. Body cam footage shows viral traffic stop involving rapper in South Los Angeles, right? Body cam footage was released on Friday of a traffic stop involving a rapper in South Los Angeles that has gone viral on social media. Shows a Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputy threatening to shoot the unarmed driver while he was sitting inside his car in Gardena on December 31st. The man involved is rapper Feezy LeBron. I've never heard of this man in my entire life.
No.
But okay, here we go. It says here in quotes, "If you take off in this car, I'm going to shoot you," says the deputy in the video. "I'm going to make it super easy on you. You put this car in drive, you're getting one right to the chest." Damn. The video has since gone viral, sparking public outrage and concern. LeBron said he was using his cell phone while in his car at a parking lot on the 14900 block of Crenshaw, of course, of all places, Crenshaw Boulevard, when two passing deputies approached him asking him to exit his vehicle. As the first deputy tries to physically remove him from the driver's seat, the second deputy says, "I'm just going to spray you." What? "Get out or you're getting sprayed," while pointing a pepper spray can at the rapper. I don't know if y'all want to see. I'm not gonna play the whole video. That's too long. It's 4 minutes and 7 seconds. I don't. Should I show a little bit of it just to get an idea?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do from here so we won't get the whole thing. Hold on.
You clicked the wrong share.
Is it? What am I sharing? Y'all see a hand, right? Like a hand and.
Yep.
Okay. All right. There's no sound, but. Okay. There it is.
Hi. What are you doing? Stop. All right, I'm just gonna spray him, dude. Watch out. Yeah, all right. I'm just gonna spray you. Get out. Get out or you're getting sprayed. Get out or you're getting sprayed. Get out. Reach around. You take off in this car, I'm gonna shoot you. I'm gonna make it super easy on you. You put this car in drive, you're getting one right to the chest. I don't care what you got. I don't care if you got bullshit on you. But guess what, bro? Now you got to deal with it. But if you pull some bullshit, you're gonna take one to the chest. Absolutely. If you don't listen, you're done. You understand me? Gardena, Londo, unit out 10-6. Unit comply or no?
Comply with.
If you move your hands from right there, you're in trouble.
So you gonna shoot me? I'm sitting in the damn car, bro.
14809 Crenshaw, Wheat Shop parking lot.
I'm sitting in the damn car.
Move your hands from right there, and you're done.
Sorry, I'm under arrest or what, bro? You got guns.
You are most definitely 1,050% detained. And if you do anything other than what you're doing right now, then you're gonna have some major consequences to deal with.
For what?
I'm gonna make it super simple for you.
For what?
It's already been explained to you.
For what?
Already been explained to you.
Okay, so hold up. Because no one can stay completely not moving. There's gonna be a point where you know what I'm saying, you might sneeze and move by accident. So if that happens, he getting shot. If he sniffs, he gets shot. If he goes like this just to get comfortable, he gets shot.
So here's the major problem with this video.
Okay, go ahead.
Like when a gun is shown,
Mm-hmm.
it is not meant to be shown for intimidation.
Right.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
A gun comes out because you want to stop something in its tracks. Right?
Right.
So when that officer pulled that gun,
Mm-hmm.
the only reason he should have to pull his gun
Mm-hmm.
is to kill.
Right.
That's the only reason. So for him pulling it out to intimidate the guy into doing what he wants, there's a problem. There's a problem with the training. There's a problem with the whole scenario right there. The other part is, why is the guy not complying? You know, the guy's got a gun out. Now it's time for you to stop being the tough guy and start doing what this guy says. Because if not, guess what? You're gonna end up dead. You know, he's already pulled his weapon out way before he needed to.
Agreed. But I'll say it's a little confusing what the cop really wants, because he hasn't really been clear. All he's saying is, if you move, you're dead.
That's true. That's true. But we don't have the whole interaction. You know, all we have is that one section. We only saw a minute and 20 seconds of the interaction, so we don't have all the information to go off. But
right.
You know, if I'm a cop, my primary goal is to make it home first. I don't care about you.
Right.
You know, I get home first, you get home second. We both can get home together, but you're going to have to listen to what I have to tell you. You know, and that's what this young man right here is lacking to understand.
Yeah, I'll agree. I'll agree with you on that. If it were me, I would just be like, okay, I'm not moving. What do you want me to do next? Like, what's the next step from here? Because clearly I'm not going to move until you tell me otherwise.
Well, you comply. Trust me. I've had a cop pull his gun out on me in front of my children and my wife, you know, where my daughter was standing right next to me, you know, and that cop doesn't care what you have to say. He wants to make sure that you listen to what he's telling you to do and going from there.
Agreed.
If you don't listen to him, it's going to be a bad day.
And this is coming from someone with experience. I don't know if I'm allowed to say the other part, but you do have experience in that area.
Never a cop, but I did train with the police while I was in the military. I spent time in the security forces squadron whilst in Iraq, you know, so I know what their mentality is, and it's 100% they're trying to get home at the end of the day, you know. And we've had cops already know they've had too many people just run off, drive them over, pull a gun out, just start shooting them, you know, without a second's notice, you know.
Yep. All right. So, I guess I mean, technically we could watch whatever's left of it because there's only like 2 minutes left of it, but we'll just circle back to it another time, I guess.
Yeah, the whole, you know, I'll end you and all this stuff. I mean, you know, I mean, I think it's getting. I mean, I see the narrative, but at the same time, you know, nobody's talking about. There's nobody talking about both sides of the coin.
Right.
You know, and that's the problem here. Like this young man, they stopped him for a reason. You know, there's different things you can do. You can ask for the watch commander. You can ask, you know, for the supervisor to be on site. Tell him, hey, I want to talk to the supervisor. I don't want to talk to this officer right here. Because unfortunately, this cop is a human being who is obviously running off of adrenaline and emotion right now. You know, he is not a person who you can have a conversation with. You need somebody else on site that you can converse with. So there's a lot going on there. That's, you know, there's a lot of fault at play on both sides of the aisle there.
Well, it does say here, I highlighted it at the end of the article. It says, After the incident, LeBron was not arrested and was instead given a ticket for a missing license plate. So that's, I guess, the initial and main reason why he was detained to begin with, apparently.
Look at that. He's about to get shot over not following the law.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what is it? $250
Mm-hmm.
to get your license plate? Come on, man. That's ridiculous. He shouldn't even have been in that situation.
Period.
Period. Do
better.
my favorite saying from Liar Liar. Stop breaking the law, asshole. You know?
I was actually watching that movie a few weeks ago. Yeah, I love that part. The way he yells it out too.
Yeah.
Breaking the law, asshole.
You got a car. You obviously can afford a car. Put your plates on it. Stop being stupid.
All right. So one last thing before, because I know you probably got to leave soon, but the last thing, and it's something that, again, I don't want to have to bring up, but it's hilarious. It's hilarious. All right. So apparently, I'm about to show y'all something, which, I mean, I just found a few, I don't know, like a half hour ago, an hour ago, maybe. All right. So there's this. This is Bad Bunny's Twitter account, and it says, "You're gonna miss me," right? It says, "Me van a extrañar." You're gonna miss me, right? And the reason why he wrote this on his Twitter account is because on his Instagram account, all right, this is real quick. Won't spend too much time on it, but I just want Jay's thoughts on this real quick.
Is he transitioning?
Oh no. So this is what happened right here. He set his account to private.
Okay.
On Instagram. Now, this happened, I want to say earlier today, right? And then, of course, the Twitter tweet or whatever, right? A lot of people are saying, oh, it's because of the phone incident or whatever, right? I'll be the first one that I sadly have to disagree and say, no, he was already going to do this. It just so happens that the timing is just that funny, where it happened after the phone incident. But he had already said he was going to take a break, you know what I'm saying, from music and everything this year, right? But my thing is, this dude should have done this from the get-go. Like on the 31st of December or the 1st of January, blocked his, you know what I'm saying, made his accounts private or whatever, gone to some private secluded island, and you know what I'm saying, have like the time of his life with his closest friends there, away from everybody. That's what he should have done. But no. What does this guy do? He goes to DR. He lets it known that he's going to DR. Then goes out of his way to not have security around him and walks outside in the public view, and the whole phone thing happens. Why did you not take these steps beforehand? Why wait and do things the way he did it and have, you know, the scenario that he had on his hands with the phone? I don't know. I think it's just hilarious with the timing. Like after the phone incident, now this happens. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on this, man?
You know what, man? I could give two shits about Bad Bunny, bro. Just being 100. I don't follow him. I don't listen to his music. I don't think he's talented. It's just not for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I do like this. I do like my life here. You know, I don't even want to imagine what cops were like before the issuing of body cameras. Mm-hmm. You know what they were like. You know what they were like, planting drugs on people and arresting, making the quota.
Yep.
Listen, man, this world is evil. This world is not meant for you and I.
You know what's funny is Dave Chappelle has a bit on that, where he was like, back in the 70s and 80s, like cops were like sprinkling crack on like the dead bodies.
Yeah. They shoot them first and bring a little crack on them.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite bits because he's like, isn't it funny how all these deaths, it just so happens that every single one of them had like those like crack sprinkled all over their faces or whatever, like oh before I die, oh let me
Right.
just sprinkle a little crack on myself, see if I revive myself.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, man! I can't. You can't make it up. You can't make it up. But yeah, that's the last bit of like the as far as like current news going on.
Bad Bunny, Bad Bunny, man. I mean, hopefully, I see what he's trying to do. He's trying to get his private life back, but that's not going to happen for at least another 10, 15 years.
Listen.
And unfortunately, when you live that lifestyle, when you got the fame and people know you and they see you, unfortunately, that's just addictive. It's going to be hard for him to walk away.
I'll add on to that and say, while at the family get together that we just had a few nights ago,
Yeah.
Jennifer from the family, she's always she's always poking, you know what I'm saying, and pushing my buttons when it comes to that whole topic of Bad Bunny, right? And she came up to me and she was like, "So, Jorge, what are your thoughts on the phone situation?" And I was like, at that point in time, they were actually calling me to take the cousin picture. So I was like getting up out of my seat as she was walking my way and saying that. And she was like, "Don't run away from me." And I'm like, I'm not. I'm just gonna take the picture real quick. I'll
Right.
answer your question. So I sat down with her and I told her the only thing that I am saying, and a lot of us are saying, is he has to admit that he didn't deal with it the best way, the right way, and he was definitely lacking entourage and security amounts when it comes to like walking out in public over there. Like
Right.
he only had about like 3 people. And then she then says, "Well, dang, it sucks because now we can't really have like a controversial conversation because like I'm actually on the same page or whatever." And she agreed, and she even added on something very interesting, which is a truth that we all know, but the way she phrased it was pretty good. She was saying that he wants to be treated like he wants to still be treated like one of us while still benefiting from his work.
Yeah.
And you can't have both. You can't be treated like so and so from the hood while being at the level that you are right now. Like it's just, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
And you kind of just said it a few seconds ago, but the way she phrased it was good, and the way that Leanne phrased it, she was like, it was perfect. She was like, he wants to keep living the way he lived back in 2015, but with the benefits of 2022.
Yeah.
That doesn't work that way. Like you're not living in the hood anymore. You know what I'm saying? You're not
Yeah.
out in the open in public just chilling with your boys. You know what I'm saying? Or like so and so. It's just, that's not where you're at right now. So
Yeah.
you have to attend to the consequences and the realities of what you have now.
It's the price you pay. It's the price you pay for fame.
Oh yeah. There's a
You give up.
long thread in Instagram
You
with
give
my
up
comment.
you give up your privacy. That's the cost of fame. And if you don't know that, that's on you.
Mm-hmm.
You are no longer a private person. It's just like when you get married, you're not an individual in a marriage. No, you become one person. If you don't understand that before you get married, your marriage isn't going to work. If you don't understand before you get rich and famous that with fame you lose your privacy, that's on you.
Yep.
You should have thought long and hard about how much your privacy you value. There's other ways of making money and getting to the top.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's really nothing else to say on that topic because I mean that's all I'm gonna give the time, like on him and all that.
Yeah, he's a sucker anyway.
But I will do this. I will change the topic because I know the niggas want to know. But I mean, before I let you go, do you have anything, any other topic you want to bring to the table before you bounce? Because I know the end of the night is calling you.
Nah, I've got nothing, man. Just
The cancer thing was off the chain. I'll say that.
take a look at it, man. If you guys are still in the chat, I'm gonna type it in there for you. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. Oh, I wasn't even typing. Anti-neoplaston.
That sounds about right.
Look it up for you and your loved ones. Do your own research. Don't trust your government. All they want to do is keep enslaving you. You got to think for yourself if you want to survive.
The only ones that'll make it out thriving, and not only alive but like thriving, are those of us who do not take like the main news outlets. We don't take their word for it for everything that they put out. We don't take their there's another phrase for it, but we don't follow blindly.
Yeah.
If they say this, and okay, that's what it is. No,
you always got to listen to two sides of the coin, man, and each side is going to give you the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Bits and pieces of the truth. You just got to shuffle through all the garbage to get to it. You never just listen to one side of the coin. Just flip the coin, see what the other side is saying, and then shuffle through all the garbage to find the truth. It's like finding gold in a stream.
It's
difficult to do, but eventually you'll find it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you always have to search through and like dig deep until you actually find not just what makes sense, because sometimes a lot of things that make sense are still like false or like wrong, but it makes sense and there's just a good amount of evidence for it that's hidden. That's when you know what I'm saying? Like when something is like hidden and it's like hard to find, but there's a lot that backs it up, that's when you know you're onto something.
Yeah.
Because you gotta look at it this way. Like again, whatever the main narrative that's being pushed by the mainstream news media outlets, most of the time it's something else. The truth is something else, because propaganda, listen, we were warned about the dangers of propaganda, I want to say in like the 50s or something like that. And there's video footage of people doing documentaries about the dangers of propaganda and how the main news media outlets were going to be used to pretty much enslave the minds of the masses, because once you say, hey, we're the government or we're whatever, these private companies that we just want to record the news and bring it to your homes, and they do it. They record news, actual news, and they give it to the people, and it's factual and it's actual real legit news, right? And you do that for, let's say, like the first 10 years, right? You gain the people's trust. So now you have the people that trust you, right? Because you've been doing an adamant job of actually bringing legit news. So now what's going to happen? What's going to happen is that the following generations, it's a cycle that repeats.
You just got to sit and think about how corrupt mankind is, Oh, hey, Mr. News Editor, How about I pay you a couple $1,000 and start talking trash about my competitor over there? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
really? Okay, I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one thing leads to another, and here we are today. You know,
It it's like when they used to promote tobacco and coke as
yeah,
something good for you.
yeah.
There was a time that they did that on the news when they actually said this is good
And
for you.
there was people screaming at the top of their lungs, "Don't drink this! It's
Mm-hmm.
bad for you. You don't want none of this stuff doing."
I love that scene. I love that scene. This is the best part of that movie. Is it addictive? No, but
No, it's not a habit for me.
right.
But no, yeah, I mean, then you got to sit and think about it, man. You got all these rich and wealthy people. How come you don't hear about none of their family members in the media? You mean to tell me they don't do no wrong? You mean to tell me they ain't got a son out there driving crazy in a McLaren?
There you
Come
go.
on, man.
There you go.
You know
It's true. It's true that you're bringing
the
that up because
the
it's something that we don't
the future
typically.
the future has to be independent news journalists who
Mm-hmm.
investigate the news, and they got to have each other's back to stay independent and not that people can purchase them for $1. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
right now they have ads. Oh, we'll do ads on you, and we're gonna pay you money for these ads. All you got to do is promote us on your show, and then once you get really really big, they're like, hey. By the way, if you don't say a certain thing the right way, we're going to pull our ads from you. Well, now that's a lot of funding that you're going to lose out on. So, what do you think you're going to do?
Hmm.
You know,
Especially.
it's a lot of ways to manipulate and control people, man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And again, this is all goes or circles back to people who do not have God or Christ in their life. So when that part is missing, is survival of the fittest.
Yeah.
It's like, well, damn, what can I do to put myself in a high position? What can I do to help myself and my family? You know what I mean? What benefits me the most? So I have went to the link that Dead Twist provided in the live chat. I'm sharing the screen of it right now. But I'm gonna let you be the one to tell me, Jay, if you can stay on.
I'm probably gonna jump off right at 10:30.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna press play, and then like 10:30 comes up, I'll bid you farewell, and then continue for as long as I can over here on this side.
So this video right here. So the one that I got is a full documentary, but that one says Cancer is a Serious Business Part 2. So this one might be a different one.
Okay.
But it's the same doctor.
Okay. Yeah, because it's Brzezinski or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll pull up the one that you shared in the group chat. I guess like after a few minutes of this one.
It's about like 5 or 6 minutes longer than what you got there. So this one might be a different documentary. But I mean, this one's got children who were diagnosed with a fatal cancer. They started taking this guy's medication. It's now married with children of their own.
Wow.
Like these are kids that should have been dead if they would have kept taking the advice of the medical professionals of their time.
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to do radiation on someone's brain and not expect it to not cause damage?
Mm-hmm.
That's retarded.
Yeah. But hey, it's it's all about the money, baby. Like what can we do?
It's aggravating and it's frustrating as a person who has lost, family members to this shit, to find out since the 70s they've had treatment for it.
Mm-hmm.
That's aggravating, dude.
But hey, no, Jay, don't trust those independent doctors.
That's true.
Don't trust those doctors that are not, the usual like go-to primaries. No. Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah, man. You know, I lost one of my grandfathers at a very, very young age
Mm-hmm.
to cancer. You
Mm-mm.
know, and if you mean to tell me, I mean, this guy was alive and curing people of cancer during this time frame when my grandfather passed away. So, um, you know, I blame the FDA
Mm-hmm.
and the United States government for allowing
Mm-hmm.
people to die when treatment is readily available.
Now it makes me think. I don't know if it was Family Guy or maybe American Dad. They have an episode where one of them, I think it was Stan, he was like holding like the cure for cancer or something like that,
Yeah.
and there was somebody else in that scene with him. Now I have to go back and see. Well, was it this guy from the documentary that was with him in that scene, or because that'd be interesting. Like if it
Yeah.
was, I'm gonna have to look for that episode.
I haven't finished the full documentary. I'm about 60 minutes into it. So,
Okay.
but it's aggravating, man. It's tough to watch. You know, I mean, there's people in there who's, you know, as a father with two daughters,
Mm-hmm.
to have to sit there and let one of your kids pass away because the FDA and the United States governments are playing a fucking,
Mm-hmm.
you know, money grabbing game because the pharmaceuticals want to keep this stranglehold on cancer on everybody.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then all these marathons, cure for cancer, cure for cancer. Listen, y'all lucky I don't cuss, bro, because like I was like glitch, the cure's out there already. What are you talking about? Like, what are you racing for? What are you raising all this money for?
Yeah.
Oh my! Oh, and Dead Twist is saying that apparently the drug might be cheap to produce. So that's even more aggravating if it's actually like that. But yeah, it is 10:30. So I know you got to go tend to yourself and the family and all that. But thank you for being here. I appreciate you always giving
Thank
me
you.
a little bit
Thank
of
you
your
for
time.
having me. Appreciate the chat for hanging out with us tonight.
Mm-hmm.
God bless. You know, everybody stay safe. And if you got time, man, watch the documentary. You might leave as frustrated and angry as I was.
Probably. Knowing how I am, yeah, probably. But
All right, Senor. God bless you. I'll talk to
yes,
you
sir.
later.
Amen. Peace out, sir. But yeah, that is extremely frustrating. I agree 1,000%. Like I mean, I understand how nowadays, because of the freedom and I don't know, the World Wide Web connectivity, it's easier to find these types of documentaries and it's great information. It wasn't as easy to find this stuff before, around those days. I get that part too. But still, the fact that if in any way, shape, or form this information was suppressed by the FDA, the government, you know what I'm saying? Just any entity trying to downplay its success is mind-boggling at the very least. But we're gonna see a few minutes of this documentary, and then I'll try to pull up the other one because this is almost 2 hours long, and as much as I am okay with watching stuff this long, we're gonna, I'm gonna be somewhat wise with the time usage tonight. Um, it all depends though. If I see like a good interaction in the live chat and like more people involved, then hey, I might let it ride all the way through and even watch the other one right afterwards. But if it's not that interactive in the live chat and there's not a lot going on, not a lot of people, then I have to be like, all right, well, since it's not like that, I have to get my sleep or whatever. It is what it is. But let's watch some of it.
Jess wanted to start a business.
Jess, you need to sell those.
And then this.
Well, Jess, now I'm not going to go visit your store.
One year after starting Dr. Brzezinski's treatment, UCLA pronounced me in remission. Dr. Brzezinski saved my life, and for that, he is facing 300 years in a federal penitentiary.
Perhaps Dr. Brzezinski has found the medical breakthrough of the century. Certainly a wealth of empirical data hints at that possibility. But how will we ever know if the FDA succeeds in quashing it?
The FDA has raided Dr. Brzezinski's clinic enough times now that they should have been able to prove any legitimate charges they may have had against him. The relentless stress the FDA has put Dr. Brzezinski's patients through is unforgivable.
The FDA has convened 4 grand juries, none of which returned an indictment. Finally, 5 days after this body pressed David Kessler for answers on retaliatory actions against Dr. Brzezinski, guess what? He was indicted.
Will FDA's initiatives that you announced today expedite the current review of anti-neoplastons treatments?
I don't want to get into any particular agent.
Isn't part of your problem that the treatment of cancer is a very profitable industry for a lot of companies, and that your treatment right now will eat into those companies' profits?
Bingo.
They'll do anything.
I'd like the following questions to be asked the FDA. How much money have they spent in the last 10 years to try to put Dr. Brzezinski out of business? How many documents can they subpoena, and how many more grand juries does he have to go to? And why can't patients who have advanced cancer seek the medical treatment of their choice?
The issue of whether anti-neoplastons work may not even come up during the trial. The judge says that's not relevant. You voted to acquit?
To acquit, absolutely.
Not guilty.
Not guilty. I voted for acquittal. I voted my mind and my heart. I do not believe that Dr. Brzezinski is a criminal. And I had voted to acquit.
Brzezinski's victory has resulted in the American government abandoning their initial attempt to hijack these medicines after they filed 11 patents of an already existing anti-neoplaston compound by recruiting and colluding with one of Brzezinski's own research scientists. Now entering a new chapter, and against all odds, anti-neoplastons have successfully completed a series of Food and Drug Administration sanctioned Phase 2 clinical trials.
Now the therapy is about to be tested in what's called a Phase 3 trial, a massive experiment involving potentially hundreds of brain cancer patients worldwide.
Dr. Stanislaw Brzezinski is presently the first and only scientist in United States history to enter the federal drug approval process for a proprietary cancer therapy without any financial support from the American government, the pharmaceutical industry, or the cancer establishment. As of the year 2013, only 10% of the patients that seek Brzezinski's therapy are allowed to receive anti-neoplastons due to strictly imposed federal government sanctions that limit who is and who is not allowed to receive them.
Before we got to the clinic, we didn't know what Laura would be prescribed with. We were hoping she would get anti-neoplastons. But they did say to us, we're not going to know until you arrive and we submit all your medical records to the FDA. They'll determine whether they're going to approve Laura for treatment or not.
The patients that wish to receive anti-neoplastons are required to go through a rigorous review process by America's Food and Drug Administration, which generally requires proof that chemotherapy and radiation have first failed the patient before being allowed access to anti-neoplastons.
Wow.
So we got back from getting the biopsy result and I straight away phoned the clinic.
Hold up.
We were hoping...
Due to strictly imposed federal government sanctions that limit who is and who is not allowed to receive them.
Before we got to the clinic, we didn't know what Laura would be prescribed with. We were hoping she would get anti-neoplastons.
So if I heard correctly, in order to even get to the phase of, the other, I forget how you pronounce it, but like the actual compound to that actually helps, you have to go through radiation therapy first and then prove that it fails and then get to the actual good stuff. Wow.
But they did say to us, we're not going to know until you arrive and we submit all your medical records to the FDA. They'll determine whether they're going to approve Laura for treatment or not.
The patients that wish to receive anti-neoplastons are required to go through a rigorous review process by America's Food and Drug Administration, which generally requires proof that chemotherapy and radiation have first failed the patient before being allowed access to anti-neoplastons.
So we got back from getting the biopsy result and I straight away phoned the clinic and told them what Laura's tumour was. And he said, look, I'm really sorry, but it's a clinical trial and there's criteria. Laura's going to have had radiotherapy or chemotherapy first and failed that. I said to him, well, that's crazy. What do you mean failed that first? And I said, we're UK citizens. Does it matter that we're not Americans? Do we still come under the same law? And he said, yeah, you'll be on US soil when you arrive. The clinics on US soil, we have to adhere to this.
But we just said, let's just get on with it.
Get on with it, yeah.
Went for the 6 weeks radiotherapy. I did 10 days of the chemotherapy, the Temodar, and I was violently sick.
Even if the FDA's prerequisite is fulfilled, the FDA holds full dictatorial rights to refuse patients access to the medicine if they choose.
Wow.
The doctors have told us basically there is no cure. By contrast, Dr. Brzezinski, we have found out, has cured several people with myeloma, which means that this is a better prospect for us just statistically. The problem is that the FDA, in its wisdom, will not allow us to be treated with the antineoplastons.
We have asked the FDA what is different about my case, why I don't get an exemption. We didn't have a response yet to that question.
They're not going to allow Pat to be treated by the clinic that has the technology to possibly save her life.
Do you want the truth about ClickFunnels? Here's what they're not telling you. That's right. ClickFunnels does a very good job of telling you who has had success with ClickFunnels.
Upon the mapping of the human genome, dozens of new gene-targeted medications were developed and released by the pharmaceutical industry. Working in tandem with the quickly expanding assortment of various gene-targeted medications constantly becoming more available, Brzezinski's team has been widening their research since the 1990s by utilizing this new technology and thus inventing an additional technique of cancer treatment as a brand new alternative for his patients. Brzezinski defines this new technique as personalized gene-targeted cancer therapy, in which the remaining 90% of Brzezinski's cancer patients are enrolled. They are prescribed a personalized recipe of commercial medications, which does not involve the original anti-neoplaston invention.
Personalized treatment is designed for individual patients. It's coming from understanding that cancer is not just a single disease. The cancer is perhaps
there goes the man, the myth, the legend.
Different molecular diseases. This means that every patient is to be treated individually if you like to be successful and if you like to avoid bad adverse reactions. This means that you need to identify what is causing cancer in individual patients, and we know that cancer is caused by abnormal genes. At this time, it is necessary to identify abnormal genes. And then it is necessary to identify medications which will work on these genes and use them in combination, knowing that some patients may not tolerate such combination well. Again, there's a way to identify based on genomic studies if the patients are good candidates from the viewpoint of adverse reactions.
And the way that we do that here is by evaluating the genetic makeup of your cancer. We've benefited from using Caris Life Sciences labs out in Phoenix, Arizona, who will essentially do a full genomics study of what makes your cancer.
Basically, they will run the analysis on the entire cancerous genome of 24,000 genes. We are not treating, for instance, quote unquote, large cell lung cancer. We are treating the combination of genes which are causing this cancer.
Zolinzac, Xeloda, Avastin, those are the things I was taking.
Chris was diagnosed with stage 1 colon cancer. None of these commercial drugs that the Brzezinski Clinic prescribed him were approved by the FDA to treat stage 1 colon cancer. The Brzezinski Clinic prescribed Chris these 3 medications off-label based on the findings of his genetic profile, having nothing whatsoever to do with what these drugs were granted market approval for.
Interesting.
Then my doctor called me and said, there's no tumor. Can you believe how 3 months? It's not even less than 3 months.
Wow.
And my tumor was gone. And just 3 months earlier, I was saying it was all over.
So the fact that we got rid
Recordings just got better. Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard. I'm so excited to announce that local recordings are now
of his cancer at this time. It's great, okay? But obviously, this would be criticized by standard oncology because they would say, well, this patient should receive standard of care, which means surgery, then combination of chemotherapy.
One of the interesting things around here is that when the drug reps do come to present either a lunch or a talk about their medications, they often ask us what it is that we're doing with their medications. And they'll gladly sit and listen and obviously understand the mechanisms of their medications, but then they get really perked up when we start telling them about the other cancers that Dr. Brzezinski is freely using their medications against.
Every doctor we've seen has said there is no cure for Merkel cell cancer.
Yeah. It's like, too bad, you know. You might as well get your papers in order and, you know, pick out your funeral home, make sure you got a burial plot and all this stuff.
Mrs. Wright was 66 years of age when she originally consulted with me in July of 2005. At that time, she had had a biopsy of a mass on the left side of the face, which identified Merkel cell carcinoma. In a series of 5 surgeries, we attempted to remove this cancer and provide her some attempt at cure of her cancer. We had provided good surgical procedures for her, but without lasting result.
So we were like, okay, what do we do next?
And in our head and neck tumor board in our medical center here, we decided that she would benefit by the administration of radiation therapy.
And so we went over to the radiation, and so they did one sequence of radiation on it, and then that didn't stop it. Didn't do a thing for it.
It was my understanding that at that time, she and her husband did some internet work and went online and found Dr. Brzezinski in Houston, Texas, after which time he offered her a protocol that involved Sutent.
Sutent has not been granted market approval to treat Merkel cell cancer. In fact, there are not any drugs granted market approval by the FDA to treat Merkel cell cancer.
And the tumors under here and the tumors here and all this were gone. And part of it back here, they were just flat, gone.
I think he's out of the box, and that's what Mrs. Wright needed. She needed some fresh ideas. And that's what has resulted in her success, is that someone took a chance, applied an off-label use to a medication that's used every day in our cancer center, but not necessarily for this application. And it has shown some lasting benefit to Mrs. Wright's cancer control. It's very exciting. Yeah, you know,
is he like, was he like attempting to like slightly downplay the success of like the use of that? Because he was admitting to it. He was admitting that it worked, and he said like long lasting, right? And he was like cheering on, you know, Krasinski and or Brzezinski, whatever. What's his name? Brzezinski? Yeah, Brzezinski's methods, right? He was like praising them, but I felt like he was like slightly like, I don't know, like downplaying the success of it for some reason. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm looking too into it.
What's interesting is all this stuff is not taught to you in medical school. You know, the medical curriculum that we all go through is very traditional, and they don't teach you. You know, my medical education taught me how to think, but this level of thinking goes one step beyond.
One of the things too about Brzezinski was that
he sounded kind of like frustrated. there. They're like, well, the way we're taught is like, how to think or whatever. But I'm pretty sure he wanted to say like, this is gonna sound so messed up, but it's true. What we're taught is what to prescribe. We're not really taught to like think outside the box. We're taught to say, hey, try this and try that, but not try methods outside the box. I think that's what he wanted to say, but he had to kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Look out for himself and people who he works for. So
some of the first level doctors coming from different places, different countries, and learning what he's doing.
Dr. Sawanabori works with a prestigious university in Japan. He wants to make targeted gene therapy the standard treatment in this country.
His method is very safe and also very effective. So I'm sure that this is the new strategy of cancer treatment.
The doctors here, before we left,
Jess wanted to start a business.
Jess, I don't want you.
And then
you lost my business, Jess.
Hospice. He was committed to a wheelchair or the bed.
Wow.
He could not breathe at all without constant oxygen.
That's crazy.
When we left, Mark was able to walk. He had no oxygen. He was a completely stable individual. He was no longer dependent on everything.
He's been on it for about a month or so. And I mean, he looked completely like a different person. He was not in the wheelchair anymore. He was off his oxygen. He was walking. He looked like he's gained weight. All the bulky lymph node that you can see from far away in his neck, but they were almost completely gone.
All right, so I just got word that technically I have to cut things short tonight. But I want to thank Dead Twist for providing that link in the live chat. For those of you wanting to watch the rest of it on your own time, I highly recommend that you do, because I'm going to watch the rest of it as soon as I get a chance, maybe later tonight, maybe tomorrow. But it is very, very interesting. And I do highly recommend it. And I was going to play a bit of the other documentary that Jay sent me, but it's looking like I might have to do that tomorrow. So I do apologize for that. I was planning on staying up until 11, but yeah, it's not looking like it's going to happen tonight. Yeah, that makes complete sense. I mean, again, for those of you who haven't seen Dope Sick on Hulu, definitely check that show out. I highly recommend it. It's very, very insightful. But anyways, I will let you guys go. For those of you who were here to the very end, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate the love and support that you always support. Show myself and the team. And check out the banner below me. If you're not following me on those other accounts, do so ASAP. If you haven't visited the JDQ Just Don't Quit spring shop or store, go ahead and do so. And if you want to bless myself, my family, or the team through Cash App or whatever, I think some of the mods have the link that they can provide in the live chat. If anyone can and wants to help out with that would be greatly appreciated. You don't have to, but if you want to, you can. But yeah, I think tonight was really good. I think tonight was really well. Interesting topics altogether, interesting opinions, interesting insights. And yeah, man, this is exactly why you should stay subscribed to Vision Eye View TV for more moments like this and more nights full of just interesting information, whether it be with the music industry, entertainment industry, or tonight we had something medical going on. You never know what outside topic we might be bringing to the stream. So one of many reasons why you should be already subscribed to and sharing our content forward with your peoples. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Oh, here, let's do this one. It's easier. There go the Cash App handle or tag or however you want to call it for anyone interested in blessing my person, the team, or my family out. This next year will be everyone's biggest test. Yeah, agreed, Willen. I agreed 1,000%. But yeah, for those of you watching this afterwards, I really do hope you enjoyed tonight's program. I know it's 2 hours long, but I really do. Did I say program? Lord forgive me. Tonight's show, tonight's stream. Okay, I apologize for that P word. All right, I meant to say show and or stream. All right, if you enjoyed it, please take the time to check out the rest of the chill streams or the team streams or the podcast episodes. You're not going to be disappointed. You're not going to be, underwhelmed. It's always interesting topics that we talk about in here, regardless if it's music related or not. So, yeah, that being said, huge shout out to everyone who was here up until now. William, the lovely Emily Rose, Jen was here earlier. Of course, Dead Twist. Rod was here earlier. My Life was here. Jay, the producer, was here with me earlier. Serbian, Capybara 2.0. Who else? Who else was all here? I was going to say Nightbot, but Nightbot's sneaky. He's not supposed to be here, but he is. Of course, JD, 502 Underground Media was here. And anyone else who was here at any point in time for a few seconds, a few minutes, or throughout the whole thing, thank you so much for being here. It means a lot to me. But yeah, stay safe, stay blessed. I love every single one of you guys. Till next time, JDQ with Vision iView TV out.